There's some more stuff here from the, again, the Toronto VNC. And this is the area north of Toronto. So this is Lake Huron. This is the Bruce Peninsula going up here. We've got Wyerton Airport here. We've got Owen Sound Airport here. A couple of things that you may notice is that the Wyerton Airport has this circle around it. This circle represents a Class E control zone. So a Class E control zone, the symbol is slightly different than the one we looked at previously. Class E control zone means it's a control zone. It's controlled airspace, goes all the way to the ground, but there's no active control tower. And Wyerton has this because historically there was a flight service station there at one time. There's a mandatory frequency, et cetera, et cetera. So it's protected by a control zone. The other thing you see at Wyerton is you see this compass rose here. So the compass rose relates to the radio navigation aid known as a VOR that's right at Wyerton. And these were much more important when we didn't have GPS, but they still are used. Anyway, all of the radio frequency information is contained in these boxes. The stuff that's inside the box relates to ground-based navigation aids. In this case, the Wyerton VOR 117.7. But the other part that seems to mess a lot of people up is, what's this number up here? And what does this mean down here? The number on the top indicates the presence of a remote communications outlet, or RCO. And that's just a way for you to talk to, in this case, the London Flight Information Center. So all over Canada, the pilots are served by their local Flight Information Center, which is a function of Nav Canada, where we get weather, flight planning information. That's officially where we get it. So this tells you that it's London. This is how you have a two-way communication on the frequency that's indicated there. And then down at the bottom, it says 126.7 and the truncated word broadcast. And what that means is they can talk to you, you can't talk to them. So they have the ability to transmit on 126.7, but you don't have the ability to send a message to them. If you want to have the two-way conversation, you do it on the frequency that's on the top. The reason is historic. 126.7 is the historic flight service station frequency in Canada. However, it became quite congested, so we started having these discrete frequencies right around 2010, which is like 9 years ago we did this. And it has improved things, in my opinion, immeasurably. So that's good to know. So the Flight Information Center is how you're going to amend your flight plan. That's how you're going to obtain an update on the weather. Any other information that they may have, it's the same information that you could get, because it's the same person as if you called on the telephone to get a briefing. Okay? The other thing here is we have this, I call this the jagged symbol, or the sawtooth symbol, sort of a jagged thing. And what that's indicating is that the bottom of controlled airspace is different. So you see that right here it says it's Class E airspace, and it starts at 700 feet above the ground. Notice this is above the ground, right? So this number is above the ground, this number is above sea level. They're not the same thing. The real question comes, if it's 700 feet above the ground here, what is it out here? And the thing that you have to remember, and it tells you on the legend, is whenever they don't tell you what the base of the airspace is, 2,200 feet above the ground. And that's just one of those exam things you got to remember. So if you follow where my cursor is here, where we are right now, I would be at 2,200 feet above the ground. When I cross the line here, controlled airspace would be down to 700 feet because I'm getting close to the Wyerton Airport. When I cross the control zone line, the controlled airspace floor drops to the surface. So it's important that you understand that and you're able to conceptualize that. You see an example here where there's a little sort of pointed or triangular shaped airspace, and it says Class E airspace, 3,500 feet ASL. So they're telling you here, hey, in here, you have uncontrolled airspace up to 3,500 feet ASL, whereas the convention is to do it above ground level. But you'll see this from time to time. And you can see here there's an airway. That's what these lines are. This is indicated by a Victor number, and Victor 164, I think. So there's some features there.